I will call the meeting to order. Deborah, can we have roll call, please?
Go ahead.
Boyers.
Septon Boyers, are you here?
Boyers.
I'm here.
Hickey.
Here.
Ring.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Rowland.
Here.
And
And
Byram.
Byram.
Here.
And Neiman is excused.
Okay, we're gonna go right to the auditors since they're here, and we'll deal with everything else afterwards.
Certainly.
Okay. You guys wanna go ahead and go?
Great. Yes, great. Okay, so I feel like if you guys don't know me, I'm McCare Kilkenny. I am the director on the engagement, on the audit, a test work engagement. I've been doing the work for the last 6 years. And then with me is Chika Shimada, who's my boss. She's a shareholder on the engagement. And she, in the prior years, was our quality control reviewer on the engagement. And then she's now the shareholder on the engagement since Bob Zurcher retired last year. So she is new. And we have our standard communications that we will go through with you and talk about the status of the audit. And then at the end, we can answer any questions that you might have on the draft report, which you all should have received a copy of that. So I think I'm going to share my screen. All right, so you guys should all see a little PowerPoint presentation.
Yes, we see it.
Great, awesome. Okay, so that's our little, there we go. So the agenda for today, we're going to go over the audit approach and the status, the significant audit risks that we identified. Those have been previously communicated to management in a written letter. We're going to go over the significant audit adjustments and then the standard required communications, which if you have sat through one of these before, it is pretty much the same as prior years. So I'll let Chika kick it off.
Hello, as Mickey explained, I've been involved with the engagement, but this is the first year I'm taking over as a shareholder after Bob retired, but I've been involved with your account for this like 5 years, so I'm familiar with your organization and financial statement. So just to start with where we stand in terms of the audit, as you have the draft, we have a draft financial statement ready, and then substantially all of our audit procedures are completed. So we should be, we are expecting to wrap this up pretty quickly and then be able to issue soon. Couple of things need to happen before we finalize and issue our report. As you probably know about this, first thing is we need your approval of the financial statement. After today, we can answer any question you have, and if you feel comfortable with what we have, and we can move forward with what we have. Or if we need to revise something, we will revise. And second thing is this is a standard procedure. We need to perform key current procedure, meaning subsequent event review. Anything happens subsequent to year end until now. So we will be most likely asking questions to Todd and say, just anything happen, let us know. And then, we perform any necessary procedure to validate the information, if any. And third thing is once everything is good, then we will provide a standard template for management representation letter, which we will ask the management to sign. And then I will discuss next about the audit approach. This is a pretty standard procedures we perform, and then similar to what we've done in the past. First thing we usually do before we start the audit is just to get an update on anything new happened, and we will review interim financial statement to see anything jump out that's something we need to pay more attention to. And we will also consider any new accounting and auditing standards becoming in effect. And also we will review any accounting procedure changes and procedures. And also we will perform a walkthrough of transaction cycles and control just to make sure no major changes or anything we identified we need to pay attention to. And that includes control environment. And then after that, we will perform a audit risk assessment just to see what's the area of focus, which Mikia is going to talk about next. And then we will determine, design and perform test of account balances and some of the controls. And after we are, pretty much done with the test of control and account balances, then we can move forward with the drafting financial statement. And then, after that, we'll be having this meeting to just present our audit result and discuss any question you may have. And if we have any finding or recommendation, we will also communicate that to you as well.
Okay, so I'll go a little bit deeper into the areas of the audit focus. Obviously, revenue is a driving factor for y'all. So we perform procedures over revenue recognition. We do testing of some detailed transactions, but also this year we took a slightly different approach as well. And we did a proof of revenue through cash. So Amanda prepared all of the bank statements and the activity through there and backed out any sort of revenue that was, or I shouldn't say revenue, any sort of deposits that weren't revenue related. And we agreed that out to the balances on the trial balance and did certain detailed testing over the information that was put into that file. So that's a really, we look at a lot more, I should say, we look at revenue as a total more than we have in the past with the detailed testing, because detailed testing is a sample, whereas this one, we're looking at all of the transactions within the bank statement. So we took that approach this year since we already knew that Amanda and her team were doing these reconciliations on a monthly basis. So it was, we thought it would be easier for them to do that approach as well, since they had all the information at their disposal. We also do a test of membership transfer fees. So we do a sampling of the transfer fees that are paid during the year and financed during the year. And then we also know that you appreciate us looking at those that were exempt. So we also do a test of those items as well to ensure that they qualified for exemption under one of the approved exempt items. We look at cash. You guys have a lot of cash on hand, as well as marketable securities, which were new this year. You had invested in them in 23, but at the end of the year, they had all matured. And so 24 was kind of at the end of 24, they were all still in US security bonds. So we test cash and marketable securities by sending confirmations to the bank and receiving bank statements and investment statements back directly from them. You'll see in the financial statements that there is some newer disclosures surrounding the investments. And so that's like one of the newer areas in the financial statements this year. We also look at the accounts receivable balance and allowances for that. Most of the accounts receivables are due from the mutuals, so not significant balances as far as everything's considered, and usually collected within the next month or 2 months after the end of the year. Property and equipment activity, and as well as an impairment analysis is done. So huge area for y'all. You guys got a lot of stuff going on, especially construction in progress. I'm hoping those pickleball courts are coming along nicely. So we do a sample of all of the new transactions, whether it's items that have been in construction that are now being placed in service. So we test those to ensure that they're being depreciated accordingly, as well as newer construction in progress, ensuring that those are being invoices are being recorded correctly as PP&E. And we also took a look at in relation to that, repairs and maintenance and what goes in there, and if there's any changes from prior years. And as well as we did an impairment analysis, we take a look at what is still on the books that has a net book value and whether or not there's sort of any issues with that need to be considered. Same with the construction in progress, if there are certain items that or certain uh, projects that have not moved forward in a year, like why is that, and whether or not those need to maybe be written off. So no write-offs related to impairment for PP&E for 2024. And then accounts payable and accrued expenses, we take a look at those through what we call search for unrecorded liabilities, which is where we get the transactions, the distributions that happen after the end of the year. We do a sample of those to ensure that anything that was paid out after the end of the year was recorded properly or excluded properly as of 12/31. We also look at the pension liability, which, as you all know, the pension plan was terminated in 2024. So we receive the actuarial report from Millman, and we do this in conjunction with the testing for the defined benefit plan, which this is the last year of the audit for that plan. And we take a look at that report and ensure that everything is recorded correctly. So with this year, with the termination of the plan, all of any sort of other comprehensive income that had been recorded relating to the pension plan during the life of the pension plan had to be reversed out. So you'll see this really large unrealized loss on the financial statements. That is, for all due respect, a fake number. That's not real money that's being lost. It's just taking that other comprehensive income out of the equity and moving it to the P&L for the year. And then the net is going to be, it's going to net out. So, and then borrowing and credit agreements. So the trust does have 3 notes payable with Mechanics Bank. So again, we send confirmation over to the bank to confirm the balances and the activity during the year directly with them. Those are still being paid down in accordance with the agreements, and there's no changes with those. And then we look at expenses. It's particularly payroll expense, since that is one of your largest operating expense areas. For payroll, we do a tie out to the payroll registers. We also do some detailed testing of payroll in conjunction with the 401k audit, which we're also in the middle of right now. And then we also take a look at the other operating expenses. If there's any sort of fluctuations that we weren't expecting, we dive into those and see what's up with those balances. And then we take all that information and we assist in drafting the financial statements and all of the disclosures and update them as necessary. So that is kind of our areas of focus. And then during, as Chika mentioned, during the planning of the audit, we assess any sort of significant audit risks. And so we always assess these. A couple years ago, we are now required to communicate those to management at the beginning of the audit in writing. So there was a letter that was sent that I provided to Todd with those. And this year we had these 2 identified last year as well, and the year before that. Revenue cutoff. So there's always a presumed risk of fraud related to revenue recognition. So we perform cutoff testing around revenue at the end of the year to ensure that revenue that should be recognized in 2024 is being recognized, and revenue that should be recognized in 2025 is not being pulled forward into 2024. And then, as well as, because management is in a position where they can override controls that may be in place to ensure that controls don't get overridden, management override of internal controls is also a significant audit risk area. And we look at that through journal entry testing, where we do a sample. We have particular criteria that we put the journal entries through, and then any journal entries that meet the criteria that we want to look at, we have Amanda pull the support for it. We review those to ensure that they were made correctly. And what's the next area? Oh, audit adjustments. So overall, our audit financial statements, designed to obtain reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatement, not absolute assurance. So we accumulate any sort of misstatements that are identified during the audit. We propose journal entries on any that we believe should be booked. And we communicate those to management. So those were provided to management last week. And then for you, there's journal entries that are made, but there was only one, I think, significant journal entry this year that was made, which I had mentioned previously, which is the adjustment to remove the other comprehensive income associated with the pension plan out of OCI equity and onto the P&L. So that will get rid of it. So it's no longer on the books going forward. And then we had no material uncorrected misstatements during the audit. There was two things that we identified that management, y'all do differently than GAAP. One of them is the notes receivable, having that as an asset instead of a contra asset to equity. So we just always kind of propose like what the effect would be if that was recorded properly, but those aren't material transactions. But we had no material uncorrected transactions. And then required communications. Chica, you want to do that?
Okay. So next I will cover required topics of communication. Again, these are similar topics here that are similar to what we communicated in prior years. But these are the topics we are required to communicate under the auditing standards. So I will just go down the list, and if you have any question, let us know. So first, no, we didn't note any significant accounting policy changes. And second topic is we will identify any significant accounting estimate used. In prior years, we identified pension plan liability as a significant accounting estimate, but as Makia just explained, there's no balance left, so we did not have any significant estimate we identified for this year. And we did not encounter any audit difficulty. As the completion of audit has been delayed, but we receive really good support from management team. We understand just the implementation of the new accounting system, and then turnover of the accounting department was putting us behind on completing the audit this year. And significant adjustment, as Makia explained to you just now, we had one adjustment to remove pension related items recorded in equity account out of equity account and then put it in P&L. So that's clear out after this year. And we did not have any disagreement with the management, and we did not note any material fraud or illegal acts. And we did not note any material weaknesses in internal controls, and we did not have any consultation related to independence. And then also just next couple of things is just independent related. In conclusion, we did not have any independence violation or anything we identified. Some of the things we do in addition to audit, for example, assistance in drafting financial statements or preparation of income tax returns, and we also do your benefit plan audit. Those are the services we can provide without having independence issues. And just a reminder, our responsibility under the auditing standards, we provide audit report basically saying it's not absolute assurance, but we provide some assurance of material, financial statements are not materially misstated. And we did not do any internal control type of audit works.
So the last slide just summarizes the team and our contact information. So you have Chika and myself, and then we also have the tax leader and director on here as well, Nancy and Maggie. They're currently working on the tax return, and I've been providing them with information that we already have because of the audit, and they've been on the account for the last 6 years as well. And then Rich Howard is our new technical reviewer. He's essentially the new Chika. So he is now, he was kind of a fresh eyes on the job this year. He's been with the firm for, I don't even know, many years. So probably like 30. He's at least 30 years of experience. So Rich is the new Chika on the job. And so he did the quality control review and technical review of the work. So that is our presentation. And then I don't know if you guys have had a chance to look at the financial statements. If you guys have any questions on those, we're happy to go over, or if you have any questions on our presentation.
Yeah, we do have some questions. Go ahead, Mike.
So a couple questions. So I'm new to this process.
Okay.
Have not worked for nonprofits, so I'm a little unfamiliar with the nonprofit accounting versus GAAP for profit. But a couple questions. So I noticed, so the opinion's clean. It's not unqualified or any issues there. The one thing I noticed on the opinion page, right, the date is open because you haven't finalized the financials yet. My question is, originally I thought we were a June 30th fiscal like governments, but we're not, we're calendar year. So my question is, why are we 8 months later than December 31st? I do understand the NetSuite, and I read some of your updates in the Rossmore newspaper about the issues. I've been through 3 or 4 implementations myself, one of which went from NetSuite to a different product, but.
Don't even bring that up.
Okay. Okay, so my question is why 8 months later? And isn't there covenants? I would imagine there would be loan covenants with Mechanics Bank that would say, hey guys, we need financials within 90 days, or, I mean, we're not publicly held, so it's not like a Q1 or an S1 or anything, but 8 months seems to me a little long for an audited financial.
McCary, do you want me to take this one a little first?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
So 100% agree with you. You know, we actually, in the past, this audit should be delivered by April 30th, right after that same time frame. With the implementation of NetSuite, we made the decision, I brought it to the board to make the decision to focus on the actual physical compliance. Because of the staff turnover and the pandemics, we have all our mutual clients that have legal requirements to get their audits complete. And so some of the resources were focused on limited staff to focus on that, not just for the audit work, but also just for the delivery of the financial statements to our mutuals, right? So that delayed the audit itself, and being able to free up, our controller, Amanda. She is a single entity, single person in terms of bandwidth and what we can have her focus on. And so we first had, with the NetSuite implementation, focus on getting the financials up and running. We went live January 1st. It was then shifting that into, obviously, the audit testing with CBIZ. Along those lines, also to your point on covenants, we do have Mechanics Bank. The Mechanics Bank has graciously waived and have been cool, extended that because of our situations right now. Certainly, with this being complete, trust me, no one wants these results more than me. And we will be back in cycle next year. But honestly, we're just too thin and too much. That's the honest answer.
Okay. What's the covenant? Is it 4 months?
It's actually, they want on April 30th as well, 4 months, yeah.
4
April
months.
30th.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have a waiver from the bank. We received one from, we
Waiver.
requested one from Gary, and he did provide a formal waiver for the late financial statements, so, yeah.
Can I-
Keep going.
Okay, on the balance sheet,
Mhm.
is there a reason that cash went down by 100%?
There's marketable securities now.
Okay, cash went down by 30% from.
Yes, and then there's also last year in your cash balance, you had close to $4 million. That was an advance from the mutual entities that was then paid out to the insurance expense. So that was included in cash last year. That
Oh, I see.
kind of a
Down-
weird one-off.
Yeah, is that 3.8 million advance down in the current liabilities?
Mhm.
Okay, so that really would subtract from the cash balance at the end. I got it. Okay. Pension liability, I assume went away because we terminated the defined benefit plan.
That is right.
And therefore, and I assume with that termination, everybody became 100% vested,
Yeah, we.
Correct.
right?
Yeah, but that
Correct.
should have already been, because that plan's been frozen for a
Yeah.
long time, so that they should.
No,
so that
frozen, no
plan-
new.
Yeah, they were
contracts
already
since
100%
2005.
I saw that in the
Yeah, so
footnote.
everything.
So
was
it's
frozen.
just been earning interest and everybody basically has
They
gotten
already
100%
were
vested.
100%
Right,
vested
and-
before, yes.
Yeah.
Got
And
it.
so then we were notified they could have a lump sum and they could roll it into
An IRA.
And then the remaining balance was actually, that whole annuity was sold to Mutual Omaha.
Oh, okay, cool, okay. The notes payable is Mechanics Bank, all right? And, property management services went up on the P and L, went up by 1.2 million. Is that inflation or
Where are you at?
on the top line of property management went from the top line of revenue, went from 37.8 to 39, so up by 1.2 million.
Yeah, there was an increase in the coupon
Oh, okay.
year over year.
Mhm.
And then what else is in there?
Got it.
Yeah, that's mainly the coupon increase.
The realized loss on the termination of pension plan, that 7.4 is what you described of bringing in the past unrecognized income into the P and L, right?
Correct.
Got it. That may be, I actually went through all these. See, I'm still naive and innocent here reviewing, pension plan. I think that's it.
I had one question about the union contracts. This is saying it expired July 31st. Nothing new's been signed since then. We're still negotiating.
We have a, a signed extension, but nothing new has been,
When does the extension go through?
I think it's 3 months from the end of July.
Okay, okay.
Another question. So as I understand it, we've moved the pension into the P and L. Is there any tax consequence to that? The way it's being done?
I'm sorry, can you repeat? Is there any impact on the?
Is there a tax consequence in the
Oh.
sense somebody made $7 million? You know, and we need to offset it in the same year, otherwise.
We lost 7 million. We didn't make sense. We lost 7 million.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's,
We don't
I
get the benefit.
don't believe there's a tax consequence. I think that is a difference. I think, Chica, do you know for sure?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's a different taxing, yeah.
They're not gonna let you take that loss as much as you might.
Yeah,
want
I
to.
feel like a tax might have been
Son,
reporting the losses as incurred, yeah. I
Yeah.
think this is a gap loss, so, yeah.
So along those lines, is Mechanics Bank aware that our statements are gonna show this huge loss? And is that gonna present any problems with them?
No problems.
They're aware that the P and L is gonna actually
Yeah,
show a
but
$10
they're
million
also waiting.
loss.
Obviously, this adjustment has not been visible to them until we had this, so.
Right, but they're aware and no problems, okay? Any other questions? No? Okay.
recommendation,
Can we let them go or do we need to?
we can.
Okay.
Yeah,
we
We can
let-
drop off. Okay. All
Okay.
right.
All right, thank you
very
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, with that being said, what we now need is,
Can I ask one question
Sure.
before we vote? See, I've never heard of them. Are they, do they specialize in mutual nonprofit foundation type stuff?
I don't
Or are they,
think so.
are they just cheaper than a big,
We've been-
obviously they're cheaper than a big four.
Yeah, we
Right.
went out for bid 6 years ago.
And
They,
That's-
that
got it.
before my time, and that's
Yeah.
what, and we'll talk about at
Before
the
my
next
time,
meeting,
too.
going out for bid again,
Got
and
it.
the timeline for that.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, so, yeah. So what we need is a recommendation to the RWC board to approve the draft audit financial statements. Does anyone want to make a motion for that?
so moved.
There a second? Alan, second? Deidre, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Yes, Boyers,
Yes.
Hickey,
Yes.
Ring,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Boland,
Yes.
Byram.
Yes.
Okay, so it passes unanimously.
The vote is passes unanimously.
Pardon me? Yeah, he's a voting member. Okay.
I've been on the committee for a while.
So there's a couple things we skipped to get the auditors done, so we need to go back to some old business. Or just some previous items on the agenda. One was our last regular meeting was April 7th, so we need those minutes approved. You were here, and I was here. So can I get you to make, are we okay? Any changes to those minutes? That you were, none? Right, there, so those minutes are approved. Next is an election of vice chair. So Sefton is the chairman.
Thank you.
Going forward.
After long and hard campaigning.
So we need a vice chair. Anyone want to nominate anyone?
Or themselves.
You gonna be around all year?
I hope
All
so.
right, I'll nominate myself for vice chair.
Unanimous motion?
Any second?
I'll second
Any other nominations?
Hold on, please.
Let's read my notes.
She was,
Can we repeat the motion? I'm sorry, who made the motion?
so he moved from this line item all the way back up to, let's go to secretary. So, or vice chair.
Vice
excuse
chair.
me. Vice chair. So
So,
who?
I nominate myself for vice chair.
So Dan Ring is nominating himself.
And who seconded?
it.
Alan seconded.
Alan Smith seconded it.
And did you get the first motion about the financial statements?
I don't know, I wasn't here.
Okay.
Yes, it was, let's see. We had Mike Boland and then Adrian seconded.
Okay, yep, okay. Okay, so do we need a roll call vote on the?
You didn't
He didn't
second?
second it.
Who seconded the motion?
I did.
For the
No,
approval.
no, for the approval of the financial statement. Mike
Made the
seconded.
motion, Alan
Alan
seconded.
seconded.
And everybody voted yes.
Yes, that was unanimous vote. Okay, do we need a roll call vote on the vice chair? Or can we just?
You can just unanimous consent, everyone correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Everyone consents, so it's
Okay.
unanimous consent.
Okay,
So
now,
who nominated him? Say Alan Smith. Alan,
I nominate myself.
I know, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
okay. Whenever you're caught up, let me know.
Okay, we're caught up.
Okay, so
We'll go
now
to
we
the
need,
next item.
now we need an election of a secretary. So I need someone to either nominate themselves or be nominated for a secretary. Anyone want to take the notes for this minute going forward?
Don't everybody rush.
Yeah.
So I can vouch that it's not hard. You can submit it by word to me or Deidre after the meeting is completed. You just need to make sure who's here, how the motions transpired, a brief overview, and then what time the meeting adjourned. And this is a perfunctory position. Anybody, your advisory committee has to have a secretary in order to function. I cannot be your secretary as a resident advisory committee. I only fulfill that in a need basis.
I think Mike takes such good notes here, he probably want to volunteer.
Wait, what's the pay?
$1 million.
Oh, I'm in.
We need him,
One month free coupon?
And whoever,
we need him to switch to a black pen. The red makes me uncomfortable.
No, I did the red, so I would.
David nominated Mike. Is there is there
Okay.
a second? Sefton, second. Anyone? Okay, unanimously approved, whatever you just said. Acclamation.
are you getting that? Who seconded?
I'm so sorry.
I did. Sefton, seconded.
Just put Sefton, just put Sefton.
Anything under member forum? I'm assuming no.
No,
Good. Who's
are
gonna-
there any forum speakers online, Deidre? No raised
No,
hands?
no
There are
raised hands.
No member forum speakers. That concludes the member forum.
Okay, no announcements that I'm aware of, except Sefton's taken over, starting next meeting, which is September 19th at 1 o'clock in the multipurpose room 1. Okay, we'll have an agenda for that go out before. And if not, any other
We
comment?
do have.
Anything else?
The addition of the internal control audit.
Yes, Dan was a part of that, Sefton was.
Yeah, I
So
don't,
there's two new business items, but you'll get that agenda shortly. I believe on the 15th or 16th, we'll have the engagement letters from CBIZ. Is that correct, Todd?
We'll have the engagement letters. Yeah, so the timing right now is that once the board,
Approves this on the 9th.
we'll get the letter of rep. When you sign off on the letter of rep, they'll issue the final audit, and then they'll also send an engagement letter for next year.
okay, can we talk about the engagement letter briefly? Is
It's
that-
not on the agenda. You can talk about how you want it worded or what you need staff to do and follow up on for the next meeting, but a discussion can't be held on
Okay,
a
well, that will come up in
non-agenda
the
item.
next meeting then.
What is left on the agenda?
That's it.
That's
So
it.
a NetSuite update and
Am
then
I-
adjournment.
So they never put my suggestion on the agenda?
What is your suggestion?
It was about discussing the removal of the internal audit from the 2026 budget proposal.
It's on the budget agenda. Yeah, we'll talk about that we'll talk about that at the next meeting also.
Won't it be too late by then?
It's,
When do they approve the budgets?
we're talking about the budget's preliminary Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we don't approve,
We don't approve them.
we
Until
make
the end of the
we
month.
essentially make suggestions
Right.
to
Right.
staff to adjust them. And then the board actually approves them at the meeting at the end of the month. So, yeah, so if we were to make an adjustment suggest an adjustment during the next 2 days, when you meet again, you could
Be a little
argue
bit of time.
against, you could argue against that or for it or whatever you wished. And then we would have time staff would have time to include that into the final budget at the end of September.
Can I ask a question about is it so it's a separate
Separate
internal control audit? Is it something we do every year?
No.
Never been
Never.
done.
Never
been
done.
It was,
First time.
yeah, right.
it was approved a long time,
Yeah.
a couple of years ago.
Just never
It's been
happened.
extended due to NetSuite and all that stuff and
Implementation.
things like that.
We've been working on this since I started on the committee, which was 6 or 7 years ago.
And it's something we need to have
Not my fault. I
we
want
need to have a
to pick my
significant,
battles and bandwidth.
discussion about at our next meeting.
So, number 11.
Okay.
About, because in
This is where
timing,
this discussion
we
is
did,
being
just to
held.
fill you in, we did go out and get proposals several years ago. CBIZ was actually selected several years ago, and it never happened, never started. We never spent a dime on it because of many reasons, various reasons. So we need
Do they
to,
do internal control testing?
every auditing firm does internal control.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying during the regular
They
audits.
do enough to gain an understanding of the
Just
system.
a
Just a
little,
minimum.
So they're gonna have to,
Okay.
yeah, they'd have to do enough to let them give assurance
To
about.
make him feel good that,
Yeah.
But I like to use
Remember,
like,
but
but
that's-
there's certain
We've changed
things-
systems, we've
Yeah,
changed
so like-
systems now.
right, so that's gonna
So like the
change.
old system, you know this, Mike, right? So we never had purchase orders, we never had three-way matching, we didn't do, so there's one of the things in there, we're all clean from, fraud and everything that McCara sent a clean opinion. However, the actual internal control processes
It's changed.
is changed with NetSuite and it's continued to evolve this year as we put in controls and authorities and processes, right?
Got it.
Document all those
Yep.
processes. So we're kind of going from nothing to a lot.
Yeah, okay.
And so the question is just when do we pick the lot to do?
We basically have to start from scratch.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We have to
So
start
I'm
from
all
scratch.
for it. I think it's a great foundation to kick off all the changes we've made this
And
year.
figure out the timing based on schedules and
More.
workloads and all kinds of stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
Just for a point of reference, so just so you know where we are with NetSuite a little bit. Right, when we have GenArc, right, our old system, we've only been loading the trial balances. We've been waiting obviously for the audit, so we can actually get all the audit adjustments in. So just so you guys know from a standpoint, now that we have all the audit adjustments, we will go back and we're gonna put all those into our legacy system, GenArc. Once we actually have all those adjustments in, we will then reload the actual balance from ending balance from GenArc, so we'll have a clean NetSuite start, right? So right now, when we are sharing financial, we show any 24 actuals out there, there are tied to any potential audit adjustments that need to now be reflected, right? So there will be some shifting between RPM and RWC, some of the shiftings on some of the intercompany balances, but that gets us to the balance sheet, which is where we need to go, right? So, and we just, it takes a lot of time and money just to constantly roll those trial balances, so it hasn't been, strategically.
You've been on parallel this year.
Yeah.
Not really.
Not parallel in
They
the
just- they
sense
just
of
didn't-
booking things, but
They
parallel.
they just haven't provided a balance sheet, up to date balance.
Yes, okay.
Yeah,
Which means every
Because it
month
would've
the
happened-
balance sheet is gonna change.
Yeah.
With the beginning balance.
so we would need to go back and actually close 24 and then,
Bring in the new
bring in the new
bring in the
balance.
balances.
Yeah, that's good.
And as they said, it's not material, but it is material in terms of shifting, it's not a $7.7 million issue, but when you look at it, there'll be 100,000 here and there between funds and accounts. And then we're gonna go back and obviously make obviously the audited financials will tie out and match our financial statements, right? So including the big audit adjustment, so.
So are you gonna
when-
take trial balances from 24 or before and enter them into NetSuite in order to do comparatives year over year?
Yes, we have 21 history loaded in through 24.
Okay.
So we just
Okay.
we just do not have
The
24
final, the
finalized.
finalized, got it, okay.
I've seen places that just decided to completely switch
Yeah.
from one year to the next.
Mhm.
Yeah, and when you run comparatives year over
Yeah,
year,
so-
you're running the current from the current system, you're
Yeah.
running the prior from the old system, you end up sucking them into Excel, right, to do all that. And-
Yeah.
Adrian had a question.
Yeah, so when do you think that the adjustments will be completed in GenArc and then imported into NetSuite?
I mean, I think there's gonna be obviously some, a little more, budget work, depending on the next 2 days, right, to finalize those two. I would think that Kat and Amanda will be on it the first part of next week, because it's super high priority for me to get those in and done. They're not as involved right now in the mutual budgets, it's mostly on the reserve side with me and myself, Fibroon, and Jason Lopez, who is my new FP&A guy that started. And that filled that open position, been an open position for most of this year, so that's great. So we're shifting now into all our mutual budget work. Obviously, the RPM and RWC budget is the mutual coupons, we start there. So long-winded answer, but next week, or the next, literally starting beginning next week, I'm gonna get this done as fast as I can so I can close it.
So when we see financials in our finance committee meeting at the end of the month,
That's my goal.
we'll have balance
Don't you have a
sheets.
balance sheet?
I want a balance sheet.
We'll have a balance sheet.
Well, I do have a balance sheet, it's just there's no fun stuff that still needs.
We'll
to be
have
done.
a final balance sheet for the month of August.
Yeah, I think the only question is, once I put all the entries into GenArc, the load from GenArc back into NetSuite, I need to get an estimate on how long that will take, but I think it's still reasonable to say that we should have it for this month.
Okay. Cool. That'd be great.
And then I cannot wait.
Yes. I'm sure.
Anything else?
I'm gonna once I get the mutuals, I'm gonna take obituary out of the Ross Martin News. GenArc,
Anything else?
that's all I got.
All right, I guess we're adjourned. I'll see you all on the, whatever that meeting is.
Thank you.
19th.
What day was it? 16th?
The 19th, I believe.
Is this your one?